The sport of tennis flourished in the 1970s, and at that point, tennis, especially in the United States, started to shift from being a sport for the affluent to being more of a mainstream sport. Many outstanding and best tennis players have come and gone since then. So in this video, we are going to discuss the top 10 highest paid tennis players of all time. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. Ken Rosewall. His 8 Grand Slam titles combined with 15 major championships undoubtedly qualifies Rosewall a place in tennis immortality. With a career that started in the early 1950s and ended with his retirement in 1980, the quick and agile Aussie was renowned for his backhand and crisp and accurate volleying. His last Grand Slam title came at the 1972 Australian Open at the age of 37, which is still a record for the oldest Grand Slam winner. Ken Rosewall played during the latter part of his career. To compete at his age with the next generation of tennis greats speaks volumes to his conditioning and mental toughness. For once, Ken even earned the sweet $50,000 purse while playing in Dallas. Number 9. John McEnroe. Former American world number 1 in professional tennis, John McEnroe has a $100 million net worth. He was a highly competitive athlete who hated to lose, and he sometimes let his emotions get the best of him. In 1984, he had a stellar year with his only finals appearance at the French Open and titles at Wimbledon and the US Open. However, he also amassed the single best winning record for a single season, going 62-7 for an absurd win percentage of 89.9%. During his career, John McEnroe was also highly successful at the Davis Cup, where he helped revive the United States. In 1980, he became the world number 1 for the first time, a position he held for a total of 170 weeks throughout his career. Beyond his success in singles, it's also worth noting his accomplishments in doubles, where he had 78 titles, an 87.7% winning percentage, and ranked number 1 for 270 total weeks through his career. During his playing career, McEnroe bagged north of $12 million in prize money after racking up 77 career singles titles. Number 8. Jimmy Connors. Jimmy the Model Connors was one of the greats of the game in his day. American tennis player who has a net worth of $30 million. He belonged to a time when John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg were also dominating the sport. Jimmy holds the record for winning 109 Open-era singles titles, which was only broken by Roger Federer in 2007. Jimmy Connors was one of the greats of the games. He belonged to the area when the other greats of the game, like John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg, were playing. He holds the world's record for winning 109 singles titles in the Open era and ranking number 1 for a consecutive period of 160 weeks. This record was broken by Roger Federer in the year 2007. Number 7. Ivan Lendl. Lendl accumulated 144 career titles, winning 8 Grand Slam titles throughout his 16-year professional playing career that started in 1978 and ended in 1994. His success started in the 1980s with numerous titles and his first Grand Slam victory over John McEnroe at the French Open, a year McEnroe was virtually untouchable. Lendl earned 94 titles and is currently the 3rd most in the Open era behind Jimmy Connors and Roger Federer. He also won 10 Grand Slams evenly spread out among each tournament and holds a joint record with Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic for the most runner-up appearances at Grand Slam events, totaling 11. He was first ranked number 1 in the world in 1983, and he held that post for a total of 270 weeks throughout his career. Ivan Lendl is a Czech-born former professional tennis player who has a total net worth of $40 million. Number 6. Andy Murray. Career earnings $62,913,301. Turned professional 2005. Country, Great Britain. The Big Three were once the Big Four, but Murray, despite being younger than Federer and Nadal and the same age as Djokovic, hasn't been close to their level since 2019 due to constant hip pain. The Scot won 3 Grand Slam titles, including 2 Wimbledons in front of wildly cheering British fans, but lost 8, every one of them to either Djokovic or Federer. Number 5. Pete Sampras. With a net worth of $150 million and a salary of $2.06 million, Pete Sampras was one of the most prolific tennis players in the history of tennis. He was the first person in the Open era to win 14 Grand Slams, which was a record till his retirement in 2003, a record that stood for 7 years till it was broken by Roger Federer in 2009. Due to his precise and powerful serve, Pete Sampras was known as Pistol Pete during his playing days. Sampras had won 64 titles during his career, which included 14 Grand Slams. He held the world record for beating the number one for 286 weeks, which was the best at the time, till it was bettered by Roger Federer and then Novak Djokovic, respectively. Number 4. Rod Laver. Laver straddled the move from the amateur to the open era of tennis, therefore not only making him one of the greatest tennis players in history, but also one of the most important. Although Laver's 200 singles titles are the most in tennis history, it was his ability to pull off a second calendar year sweep of all 4 Grand Slam tournaments in 1969, 7 years after his first Slam sweep. That will forever underscore his greatness. Laver totaled 11 singles Grand Slams over his career. He turned professional in 1963 and retired in 1979, making $1.56 million in prize money. He was the first tennis player in history to earn over $1 million from prize money. Number 3. Roger Federer. Net worth $900 million. There was a time when Roger Federer was miles ahead of the competition. This guy is and was absolutely incredible. You couldn't hope to watch a more beautiful tennis player. The things he could do on the tennis court were almost incomparable, and he had the results to back them up. Arguably, we would say that the Fed threw away some Grand Slam titles that were easily within his reach. Roger Federer has retired from professional tennis. Playing doubles in the Laver Cup with Rafael Nadal wasn't to be the fairy tale ending all of us would wish. However, after 24 years on the ATP Tour, 20 Grand Slam titles, and 103 ATP singles titles, it was time to call it a day. Right to the bitter end, Roger Federer has lived up to his billing, and aside from all his titles, that's why we've chosen the Fed as our second best tennis player of all time. Number 2. Rafael Nadal. There's a new GOAT in town, and his name is Rafael Nadal. While Federer made history by becoming the first man ever to win 20 Grand Slam titles, Nadal did one better. His achievements include amassing $103 million from the game, which is a record in itself. At the Australian Open final on January 30th, 2022, over 5 sets, 5 hours and 24 minutes, Nadal beat Medvedev to become the greatest of all time with an unbelievable 21 Grand Slam singles titles. King of the clay with 13 French Open titles under his belt and 21 Grand Slam titles in total means the race between the big three is now hotter than ever. With a 23-16 career advantage over rival Roger Federer, the fiery Spaniard has been a force to be reckoned with since the mid-noughties. Number 1. Novak Djokovic. Career earnings $158,996,253. Turned professional 2003. Country, Serbia. Djokovic is the all-time biggest earner in tennis. He has earned the most money by a margin of $27 million over runner-up Nadal, but has won the second most majors with 21. Any further earnings in majors wins, however, may be limited by Djokovic's refusal to be vaccinated against COVID-19, which has already cost him his participation at the 2022 Australian Open. Nobody in tennis has won more prize money than Djokovic, who has earned over $156.5 million. Let us know your opinion in the comments section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.